恭喜发财 2024 恭喜发财 Thank you for joining fellow employees, guests, Tan Sri, Dato, Richard, the directors of the Millennium Holdings Group. It gives me a lot of pleasure to stand here, and this year, just to warn you beforehand, I'm going to make the Chinese New Year speech fun, educational and participative. Okay? So 2023 was a challenging year and the international environment remains troubled. But you all have made it to 2024. This is what I want you to do. Be nice to your neighbor beside you and say, you have made it! Give them a pat on the back. Yeah, it's not easy to make it. Some Chinese leaders have not made it. Like you have made it. Yeah. So long, how long? My speech is about Chinese New Year this year. Chinese New Year. And I want to share it from a perspective that there are Indians, there are Malaysia, so you all can understand Chinese New Year. Okay? So how long has Chinese been celebrating the Lunar New Year? There was an ancient time in China, a period of San Huang Wu Di. I can speak Mandarin actually. It's called the Three Sovereigns and the Five Emperors, namely Fuxi, Niuhua, Shennong, Huangdi, and Yandi and Shunti. The history of Chinese New Year even traces back before the first Xia dynasty. That's the first Xia dynasty. If you look at history of China, which was Yu the Great, around 2000 BC, who took power from Shunti, the last rulers of the period of the San Huang Wu Di, the Three Sovereigns and the Five Kings. This gentleman here is the known picture of Sima Qian. Sima Qian is a Chinese historian, famous and reputable, who lived during the Han Dynasty minus 100 years BC. That means BC 100. That is, Han Dynasty is regarded as the Romans of the Chinese people, who wrote the Shiji. The Shiji is an ancient historical text of China, spanning more than 2,500 years of Chinese history, starting from the Yellow Emperor Huangdi, regarded as one of the San Huang Wu Di, the Three Sovereigns and the Five Emperors from the Han that the Chinese come from. So who are the Han Chinese? Han Chinese are we, like Richard, me, Tony. Okay. But why we call them Han Chinese? Historically, the Han Chinese, this is the map of China. They live between the two great rivers of China, the north, which is the Yellow River, and the south, the Yangtze River, for extensive rice cultivation and massive agricultural plains. So Chinese like to eat rice. I think so do Indian. I was in India last week. So it's a big difference. When I was in India, I was the minority. So here's my story of China. Oliver and I were in Beijing. Where's Oliver? Oliver, we were in Beijing, right? Yeah. See, Beijing is the north, above the Yellow River and Yangtze River. So when we were in Beijing, Dr. Yusen invited us to a Ming Dynasty Imperial restaurant. So you know what we ate? Oliver, remember what we ate in the very grand restaurant?
Oliver, what you ate?
We actually ate fish and sour fish and sweet and sour pork. No? Seriously, yeah. And basically, this is what we eat here in Singapore and Malaysia at the hawker centers. And Han Chinese eat that kind of food. So this is what we call, locally we call economical rice. 经济饭, economical rice. Now economy not so good. Better eat more Kimchi Fan. Economy rice. Economy rice.
So that's what you're serving us tonight, right?
We are giving you imperial Chinese food. Yes. Economical rice. Buffet. So in particular, like myself, Richard, let's see, not Rudy. We are overseas Chinese. Overseas Chinese have a certain term in China. They call them Huaqiao. So when I go to China, I will say that I'm Huaqiao. They will pardon my poor Mandarin because they know that I'm not from China. Yeah. In Singapore, we have a famous Singapore bank in English. It's called OCBC, Overseas Chinese Banking Corporation. Huaqiao Yinhang. But since being a Singaporean and since being a Singapore bank, we have a right to call it Orang Cina Bukan Cina. So back to the Emperor Huangdi. He is one of the 5 emperors of the 3 sovereigns and the 5 emperors, reigning from BC 2698, which is about 4,722 years ago, and he created the luni-solar calendar, in which months are lunar, but years are solar. So this picture, Oliver, you remember when we went to Republic of China? Don't go to the People Republic of China, go to the Republic of China, the real one, real China. So Chinese New Year is regarded as a Han New Year. And this is a tradition from Huangdi Emperor. So this is a famous sculpture in the National Palace Museum by a sculptor called Zhu Ming, a Taiwanese famous sculptor. So this is a sculpture of Huangdi. So yellow is, or Huang, is a color significant to the Chinese people. Look at my pants. This is yellow. Okay, yellow. Not beige, not beige. Yellow represents, you must listen, wealth, prosperity, gold, right? In the West, the color of royalty is purple or blue. But in China, you never see the emperors wearing purple or blue, only yellow. In Singapore, we have a slang, don't be a yellow banana. Chinese on the outside, but white on the inside. Chinese on the outside, but westernized on the inside. Any yellow bananas here? Maybe me lah. So Chunjie begins on the first new moon of the lunar calendar, which is starting on the 10th of February. And it ends on the first full moon of the lunar calendar, which is 15 days later, we call it the Lantern Festival. That's why you see a lot of lantern. So when the moon is full, it's called the Lantern Festival. Chinese New Year is celebrated for 15 days. But in the English New Year, it's celebrated for 1 day only, right? Isn't it good? Traditionally, Chinese New Year is called Nongli Xinnian. But after China became a republic in 1912, the Chinese New Year became Chunjie, when the country adopted the Gregorian calendar 1st January, and they call it Yuandanjie. Kuomintang in 1927 decreed that Chinese New Year would fall on the 1st of January, following the Western Gregorian calendar, but the population opposed it. But since China became communist in 1949, Chairman Mao tried to do away with all aspects of holidays that is considered as religious, feudalistic, superstitious, and Chunjie was not spared. During Chairman Mao's Cultural Revolution in 1967, Chinese New Year celebrations were even banned, considered counter-revolutionary, and were fought against, but reinstalled by great leaders in 1980 like Deng Xiaoping's economic liberation era. And since 1996, it has been designated as a week-long vacation in China. Chinese New Year Eve. You know, Chinese New Year is also celebrated by Chinese, we call it a reunion dinner. Chinese New Year Eve is a Chinese traditional family dinner, and we call it Chuxi. But this year, interestingly in China, 2024, Presidency has decided to remove Chinese New Year's Eve as a public holiday during China's week-long Spring Festival because it sounds like removing him from office. They call it Chuxi. I'm sure the Communist Party has feng shui experts to assist them on that. That's China. So let's not take Chinese New Year or Chun Jie for granted. This one, a lot of statistics. Why did Chairman Mao consider Chinese New Year religious, feudalistic, and superstitious? The Lunar New Year is based on 12 zodiac animals, from the rat to the pig, with 5 elements from wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. So the 12 animals times the 5 elements, if you multiply that, you get 60 years. And every year is quite interesting because the elements, they appear in pairs of 2 consecutive years. So what it means is that if this year is a wood, next year under the calendar is also, if you look at the where are we? We are here. For 2 years. But one will be male and one will be female. So the dragon is a male, the snake is a female. So if you take 5 times the wood, fire, earth, metal, and water times 2 times the male and the female, and you repeat 6 times, you also get 60 years. So the Chinese also make sure that they can calculate that it gets to 60. So be careful, ladies, when dating Chinese men. If you want to fake away, usually ladies don't want to tell how old they are. You better don't say your animal sign, because the Chinese men have an interesting way to accurately calculate a lady's age when they know your zodiac animal sign. So each animal sign has different characteristics. Each element also has different characteristics, and male and female years has also got different characteristics. Chinese horoscope or Indian horoscope has so many permutations and meanings. So I suggest Chinese, please speak to Richard Goh, and for the Indians, please speak to Murali and Dr. Selvam. So here's the Chinese New Year chart that I pulled it up. I took it online. So it traces a total of one cycle is about 60 years. So Chinese like myself and many others too, we only know the year that we are born in and the current zodiac animal year. And we will check what is the next zodiac animal 1 month before the Chinese New Year, and by the time we would have forgotten the zodiac animal of the year before. Say we are now in the year end of the rabbit, and we know that dragon is coming, but we have probably forgotten that the prior year was a tiger year. But this year, Chinese New Year, is on the 10th of February to the 24th of, it's from the 10th of February to the 28th of January 2025. And that's one whole year. And this year is a wood, and like what Richard said, is a male, and this is the chart. So one full cycle is 12 zodiac animals times 5 elements is 60. So let's say if the rat started in 1924, it will go for 60 years. The next time you get another cycle of 60 years, you would be at, where would it would be at 1984. That's 60 years. So the 2 full cycles are 120 years. Chinese regard as long life as one of the 5 blessings in Wu Fu Ling Men, which are the 5 big blessings of coming to your door: longevity, wealth, health, peaceful virtue, and enjoying a ripe old age. Here's a typical teacup. You actually do see these sort of teacups, and you look at the Chinese characters on it, like the one that I brought here, okay? The characters there. So the Chinese characters are from a famous Chinese poem and a famous Chinese teacup set exported from China when Chairman Mao was toasted with the words "Wan Shou Wu Jiang." So what it means is longevity without borders, or 10,000 lives without borders. And when you watch a Chinese imperial driver, when the king comes, they always say, one sui, one sui, one sui. They are saying to the king, okay, you will live 10,000 years, 10,000 years, and 10,000 years. So Chinese have a high regard of longevity. So in the Bible, there's a man called Moses. He lived to 120 years. But we Chinese have an amazing lunar solar calendar, which equals 2 cycles times 2, that's 120 years. So I just want you to say this to your neighbor, right? Don't think of retiring at 60 years old. We have so many employees here more than 60 years old. You're only just at your start of your second cycle, right? So let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. May you live to 120 years. Okay, good. Give us a round. Okay, now a bit about myself. So I've always been fascinated by Chinese New Year falling on my birthday. Who was born between 21st January and 20th February? Let's see a show of hands. Born between, huh? Okay, alright. Those are born between. So every Chinese New Year, it falls between 21st January and 20th February. What it means is that it does not include 21st January and 20th February, which is the second new moon after the winter solstice. That's why when you have the Tang Yan, the second full moon, which falls, the winter solstice will fall on the 21st or 22nd. So the Chinese New Year is based on a lunar and a solar system. Today's birthday is Nadia. Is that correct? Wow, who's Nadia? Where's Nadia? Hey Nadia, stand up. Happy birthday, let's wish her happy birthday. Okay. So my birthday is on the 20th of January. So I recall when I was 7 years old, the first day of the Chinese New Year fell on my birthday. So as a kid, I always wondered, hey, isn't it great that it falls on your first day? But because Chinese New Year is between the 21st of January to 20th February, then in 1998, when I was 26 years old, also for my birthday, Chinese New Year. And in 2017, remember, it also for my birthday, right, when I was 45 years old. The next time it will fall on my birthday, you know when or not? It's 2036. So that is the same year that Xi Jinping said that he's going to retire. Alright, so we look forward to that, huh? Okay. So for myself, it looks like the phenomenon is that my birthday falls 1 in 19 years. So it's not a bad batting average of 1 in 30. So I have our Indian astrologer. Oh, so sorry, not astrologer. Our Indian actuary. Come, Logan, stand up. He did some work for me. Yeah, look at this. So what he has done is that around the distribution of 4th and 5th of February, which is the middle of the Chinese New Year, when Chinese New Year will fall between January and February. So he helped me to chart out what is the frequency, right? How many times it will fall on your birthday. So if you look at this, like myself here is 1 in 19 years. And if the second is actually 27th of January, which is 1 in 16.3 years. And the most, if your birthday is 7th of February, whose birthday is 7th of February here? 7th of February, anyone birthday 7th of February? Okay, you will celebrate Chinese New Year first day in 1 in 15 years. Not bad, right? Wow, okay. Okay, finally, okay. Apart from ang paos, Chinese New Year decorations, oranges and pineapples, Chinese have auspicious greetings. We call it 吉祥话 to usher in the New Year. So when you say it, you got to believe it, man. You say it, if you don't believe, cannot happen. But say and believe, right? So what I'm going to do now is that we're going to say a few Chinese New Year greetings together. I'm going to give the cue, and because there's honey, pinging, which is the transliteration version of Chinese, we are going to say together. For the Malays, for the Indians, if you can read English, you can read Chinese. Okay? Alright. The first one. 1, 2, 3. 新年快乐, which means happiness to the new year. Next one. 1, 2, 3. 心想事成. May all your wishes come true. 1, 2, 3.
身体健康，
Wishing you good health. Next one. 1, 2, 3.
身体兴隆，
May your business flourish. Okay. Next one. 1, 2, 3.
年年有余，
May every year end with surplus. Surplus is good, right? Okay.
What's that last year?
1, 2, 3.
心里满足，
May wealth like gold and silver fill the hall. 1, 2, 3.
万事如意，
May everything go well for you. Next one. 1, 2, 3.
五福临门，
May the 5 big blessings come knocking at your door. Longevity, wealth, health, peace, and enjoying a ripe old age. The final one.
恭喜发财，
Congratulations and be prosperous. We are going to do 3 toes of Yam-sing. 1, 2, let's stand up, let's stand up.
Right, can everyone be outstanding right now for the Yam-sing? Get the glasses filled. Ian, take the lead.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah! Second one. Yeah! Sing. Okay, the final one. Yeah! Yeah, 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 yeah. Sing. Okay. You done very well.
Share to Mr. Ian Lim for